Today, rumors reverberate throughout the world, all emanating from the heart of the Grand Canyon. An iconic wonder transformed into a confusing riddle that has perplexed even the most seasoned experts. A mystery has emerged among the formerly calm beauty, evading explanation and leaving the globe in amazement. What lurks within the Grand Canyon's depths, provoking such intense curiosity? Today, let's go into the unknown, unraveling the unfathomable, and searching for solutions. In northwest Arizona, the Colorado River cuts through a canyon that is over a mile deep. 40 distinct sedimentary layers, including rocks that are a mind-boggling 1.8 billion years old, have been exposed to its erosive effect. Watching the flaming sun fade into the starry night as the purple shadows of dusk fall is a sight to behold. Discovery and early settlement. The history of the Grand Canyon's inhabitants is rich and varied. More than 12,000 years of human habitation have passed in this area. Spear points discovered here are the only surviving examples of the tools prehistoric people used to hunt mammoths, ground sloths, and extinct bison during the last ice age. Many different cultures' artifacts have been discovered in and around the Grand Canyon. These include the ancestral Puebloans, basket makers, archaic, Paleo-Indians, Kohonina, Serbat, Pai, Southern Paiute, Zuni, Hopi, and Navajo. Additionally, the north and south rims of the Grand Canyon are separated by the Kaibab National Forest, which is home to over 6,000 documented archaeological sites. Stone houses, food storage spaces, garden sites, fire pits, tools, potsherds, and rock art are all examples of these relics. In the 1540s, Spanish explorers were led to the Grand Canyon by Hopi guides, until 1858, when botanist Joseph Christmas Ives and geologist John Newbery set out to map the Colorado River. No one had set foot in the Grand Canyon. John Wesley Powell, a naturalist, led a group of men on a rafting trip down the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon in 1869, and from this expedition, he was able to document the river's path in greater detail. In the 1880s, pioneers began establishing themselves around the Grand Canyon's rim. At first, copper mining was their goal, but they quickly recognized that tourism had greater financial potential. There are still 6 major tribes present in and around the Grand Canyon. Today, a large portion of the canyon's territory that is not part of Grand Canyon National Park is still tribal land. For the local tribes that still occupy the region and uphold their cultural and traditional practices, the Grand Canyon is a hallowed space. To ensure that their tradition and heritage are recognized and preserved inside the borders of Grand Canyon National Park, tribal representatives from the 6 largest tribes collaborate with the National Park Service. The Hualapai, Havasupai, Navajo, Hopi, Paiute, and Zuni are the 6 tribes most frequently linked to the Grand Canyon. Before the arrival of Europeans, each of these tribes lived on the Colorado Plateau, and they all have a link to the Grand Canyon in addition to having their own distinct cultures and histories. Hualapai tribe, a Native American tribe, lives in the Grand Canyon. The Hualapai tribe, which has around 2,300 people, has lived in the Grand Canyon region for hundreds of years. The name Hualapai, which means people of the pines, is suitable given the huge pinyon juniper forest that the group used to live in traditionally during the fall and winter months. There, they would go hunting for prey and gather pinyon nuts and other delicacies. 1 million acres or more of land make up the Hualapai Reservation, which is situated in the western Grand Canyon. The Hualapai are most known for the Grand Canyon Skywalk, which is situated on the Hualapai Reservation, even though there is some ranch and agricultural land. Paiute tribe of Kaibab. The northern Paiute and the southern Paiute are 2 communities that belong to the Uto-Aztecan family and have comparable linguistic traits. Areas surrounding the Grand Canyon in northern Arizona and southern Utah are inhabited by bands of southern Paiute people. The Paiute name for the Grand Canyon, Kaibab, translates to mountain turned upside down and means the people in the Paiute language. A Paiute tribe known by the name Kaibab resides near the northern rim of the Grand Canyon National Park. Tribe of Havasupai. The name Havasupai, which translates to people of the blue-green waters, relates to the stunning waterfalls of Havasu Canyon, the tribe's home and principal source of income. The tribe's administrative center, Supai, is situated 8 miles below the western Grand Canyon's rim. A mule, a helicopter, or an 8-mile trip is used to transport all of the village's goods and inhabitants. When the Havasupai and Hualapai were formerly one tribe, they most likely broke apart owing to a shortage of resources. Historically, the Havasupai spent the rest of the year gathering food near the rim and farming the Havasu Canyon during the summer. The tribe currently numbers about 400 people. Navajo people. The Navajo, also known as the Dine tribe, is one of the biggest tribes and has the biggest reservation in North America with over 300,000 members. The Athabascan-based language spoken by the Navajo, who came to the Southwest over 1,000 years ago, has its roots in Canada's Northwest Territories, where the Navajo's ancestors were initially settled. Originally hunters and gatherers, the Navajo adapted farming techniques from nearby Puebloan tribes and later took care of livestock. Navajo lived in octagonal homes known as hogans, which are still in use today. Tribe of Zuni. A Puebloan tribe known as the Zuni once dominated most of the American Southwest. Approximately 12,000 Zuni people still exist today, most of whom reside in the Zuni Pueblo, which is situated along the Zuni River in northern New Mexico not far from Gallup. The language of the Zuni is distinct from all other Native American languages, and the Zuni people have a distinctive culture. The Zuni are well-known silversmiths, potters, and makers of fetishes. The Zuni have long considered the Grand Canyon to be a sacred location, and they still do today, along with Ribbon Falls and Thunder River Falls. Hopi tribe. The Hopi are thought to be descendants of the ancient Puebloan tribes that once lived in the region around the Four Corners thousands of years ago. Farmers, the Puebloan tribes created magnificent cliff houses and other architectural wonders as part of a culture and way of life that inexplicably vanished. The Navajo Reservation completely encircles the Hopi Reservation, which is situated in northern Arizona. The Hopi hamlet of Oraibi, which has been inhabited since at least 1150 AD, is the oldest continuously inhabited village in the U.S. There are currently roughly 7,000 Hopi people living in the desert who are well known for their pottery, jewelry, and kashinas. National Park System establishment. In 1893, the Grand Canyon was designated a National Forest Reserve thanks to President Benjamin Harrison's preservation measures. In 1901, the Santa Fe Railroad began operating a steam-powered train from Flagstaff, Arizona to Grand Canyon Village. In 1903, President Theodore Roosevelt visited the area and was so impressed by this geological occurrence that he famously exclaimed, "As the conservationist president, Roosevelt declared the Grand Canyon a national monument in 1908 and created the Grand Canyon Game Preserve the following year. Let this magnificent natural phenomenon stay the way it is. There's no way to make things better, but what you can do is preserve it as the one wonderful sight that every American should see for future generations." In 1919, just 3 years after President Woodrow Wilson established the National Park Service, the Grand Canyon was given the status of a national park. More than 373 species of birds, 89 species of mammals, 47 species of reptiles, 17 species of fish, and 9 species of amphibians were additionally protected by this move. Discoveries at Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is home to the world's oldest reptile footprints, which were only a few millimeters long. It would go unnoticed if not for the 28 indentations that cover the rock's extensive surface. These indentations are in the shape of sloping footprints, and they were left behind by a small, reptile-like creature approximately 310 million years ago. It's the oldest trackway ever discovered in the Grand Canyon, in an interval of rocks that nobody thought would have trackways in it, and they're among the earliest reptile tracks on Earth, said Steve Rowland, a professor of geology at UNLV who is investigating the fossil trackways. It's the oldest trackway ever discovered in the Grand Canyon, in an interval of rocks that nobody thought would have trackways in it. Rowland, who recently presented his results at the annual meeting of the Society of Vertebrate Paleontology, stated that he is not ready to say that they are the oldest traces of their sort that have ever been discovered, but that it is a possibility, as he is currently researching the discovery. This is old in terms of reptile tracks, he said, adding that the traces were produced while the supercontinent Pangaea was beginning to emerge. In terms of reptile tracks, this is old, he said. After a year, Rowland performed a detailed examination of the footprints. Rowland shared his thoughts, stating, "My initial reaction was that it appeared to be very bizarre because of the sideways motion. It seemed as though two different animals were walking alongside one another. On the other hand, you wouldn't anticipate seeing two reptilian-like creatures walking side by side. It was completely incomprehensible." When he got back to his house, he began making intricate drawings and formulating hypotheses about the strange line-dancing gait that the creature had left behind. "One of the reasons I've proposed is that the animal was walking in a very strong wind, and the wind was blowing it sideways," he added. "One of the reasons I've proposed is that the animal was walking in a very strong wind." It's also possible that the slope was too steep for the animal to climb up, so it had to take a few steps to the side as it ascended the dune. Rowland said that it was also possible that the animal was engaged in a battle with another animal or a mating ritual at the time. The Coconino Sandstone. The Coconino Sandstone is a rock layer that makes up a large portion of the Grand Canyon and is considered to be one of its most distinguishing geological characteristics. This rock layer is one of the many weird things that may be discovered at the Grand Canyon. It stands out due to its hue, which ranges from white to light gray, and its distinctive texture, which can be seen in many of the canyon's walls and cliffs. It is believed that ancient dunes that were preserved over time were responsible for the formation of the Coconino Sandstone about 275 million years ago, during the period known as the Permian. This geological phenomenon is a tribute to the strong forces that over millions of years sculpted the Grand Canyon and continues to interest geologists as well as tourists. That's all for the video today. We will be right back with more. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.